audio mixing shenanigans. Yeah, I realized now, I don't think this was an issue with the other videos. I hope not. But it was like a situation of I was trying to like balance all the audios, and it was like a whisper of the audio when my phone was on its like highest volume, and that's not what I want for you guys, right? I want you to be able to like hear it. You know, that sounds like a reasonable request for you guys to be able to hear my videos or something like that. So now I'm just trying to make sure audio is balanced to music with regard to those new levels. Again, I don't think it's been an issue regularly, but do want to make sure we do our best to make sure the vibes are up. The vibes are right. Okay? How does this sound? I think this might be a good place to be. You get some like nice vibey music in the background, and then you get to hear my voice. Nice, loud, clear. Love it. I think this is good. I think we made it. I think this is good. I think we've made it to the place we need for ultimate vibes here. I think we did it. I think we're good. How's it sound, Squadron? I think we're ready to start. Okay. So the book we are going to be talking about today is, well, first and foremost, salutations, friends. My name is Brianna Tsukiyama Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar, and yeah, my blackathon goals were to read 2 books. I read, where is it? This book. I read this book. Her name is Night. The second book I was going to read was called The Intangible. And I just could not get into that fucking book. But I was trying so hard to try and get into the book that it ended up just stealing all of the energy I had for reading. It forced me into a reading slump, and we're salty about it. We're very bitter about it. We're very bitter about the reading slump we were forced into because of that book. But we're still working on it. The current book that I am reading right now, I started Legendborn because that was on Kindle Unlimited, and I only have Kindle Unlimited for like a week or 2 left, so I wanted to hop on and read that book, because why would I not? Also, look at this gorgeous fucking mug I just got. Obsessed. It's fantastic. There's just gonna be ring light in my eyes. I could take off my glasses, but I don't think I look as good without my glasses, for 1. I can't see without my glasses, for 2. Don't judge me because my glasses are dirty, for 3. Solid. But, as I was saying, yeah, I read this book. I have some feelings about it. We will discuss those. Tried to read The Intangible. It fucked me over for a hot minute. And I'm trying to get into Legendborn. I think I will like Legendborn. I ended up, like, 2% of the way in. I ended up adding it to my 5-star draft. And I think I'll like it. I just need to get past this, like, expositional chunk of the book. I don't think the author did a good job of integrating the exposition. So once I get past that point, I think I'll be in a good place with this book. And I think I'll be in a good place reading-wise. But today, we are talking about Her Name is Night. We'll get more into all of that stuff whenever I get to my my reading wrap up for the quarter. But yeah, so Her Name is Night is the sole blackathon contribution I had, and I didn't even end up like doing the thing where you're supposed to share your pages for your team, because the world started ending, and that was just not in my mind space when blackathon ended, honestly. But so this book, you have the main character Nina, who was the daughter of a chieftain, so she was basically a princess, and she had a pretty solid life. She didn't necessarily seem to like her role that she had to play, specifically her gender role, but she was great. She was doing good. She was living her life. She was enjoying things. Then one day, a man named Paul, who at one point had been like a brother to her father, comes in, pillages the town, kills, slaughters, rapes, set fires to the town, and then takes the young girls in the village and sells them off, including Nina. She ends up killing her new owner and running away to to the streets of Paris, where one day she is in a convenience store and smells this cologne. I think it was called like Hugo No. 5, and it smells just like her father. And then there was this Olay hair product that smells just like that. The smell reminds her of her mother, and she was gonna steal them. But then the shop owner catches her and was gonna call the police. But this woman that's there offers to buy everything for her. So she just gives the teller the money and leaves. Then after Nina's done shopping and goes out, she finds that this woman is being jumped, and she, gets in there, kills both of these muggers, and saves this woman. She's probably like 13, 14 at the time. She saves this woman's life, and the woman's like, I want to adopt you. And so she ends up joining this family. They are the head family of what is called the tribe. Their goal is to unify Africa into a great power of the world, as it should be. But the people that killed her people, when she first told her family what happened, they looked and said, upon like all of their research, they found out that they were dead, but she is given an assignment to kill someone, and Atta Walrus, who is one of Paul's minions, was there, and so we kind of presume Paul is still alive, which he is. He wants power that he can get from the tribe, but she wants revenge, and in the process, her family ends up getting caught in the crosshairs of the whole situation. Now, let's talk about all of the fucking good with this book. We're gonna sandwich the good. We're gonna sandwich the good, because I have a bit of a rant in terms of the bad. But so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the good things of this book, and then we'll talk about the bad things of this book, and then I'm gonna show you some of the quotes and some of the instances of absolutely fantastic writing that I want to discuss, because I am definitely biased when it comes to this book. I think the reason why this book didn't end up being lower than it was is because I personally, excuse you, hold on, gotta turn on D&D. How do I do that? Aha! Did it. Yeah, it definitely makes, I personally am able to relate to Nina as a character incredibly much, and it's definitely one of those things. A lot of people for sure are going to consider this book very heavy and very dark. I didn't, and that's because it's just, I'm desensitized to it, because a lot of this stuff is so normal in my life that it was honestly what I imagine people experience when watching a sitcom and being like, oh my god, I know, bitch, same. That's the vibe, that's the feeling I had when reading this book, which is rough. But yeah, I can imagine people would say it's heavy or whatever. I tend to not feel a book is heavy. That is something that I don't typically experience. But yeah, I was just sitting here, like, reading this book, like, damn, Nina, me too, bitch, same, oh my god, we're twinsies, we are twinsies, several points, not necessarily with the specific action, like, the specific actions. I was not an African princess. I was not, my family and my village was not slaughtered, stuff like that, but in the emotional states and the emotional progression, that a lot of those emotional progressions and a lot of those emotional states and the way that a lot of feelings are described in this book are very much things that I can completely relate to, based, like, with regards to how some similar-ish situations happen in my life, stuff like that. The writing is fantastic. Aside from the romance, and frankly, we'll go ahead and show you. It's not gonna it's not 100% gonna make sense. Aside from the romance of this book was great. It was fantastic. I loved the writing. Was so well done. I felt so pulled into her world and everything she went through. I thought it was such great storytelling. I thought it was a great story to tell. There were some really funny parts. There were some really very funny parts. God. So, let's start talking about... Oh, also, I will note, the plot itself is super predictable. Like, the dude who killed her family, especially, like, the second you see his henchman, you know he's gonna come back. But the way they do it, and the way they describe her feelings and her reaction when this happens, is so, like, I felt it. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. I expected it every step of the way, but that didn't mean my heart wasn't palpitating whilst it was actually happening. Let's talk about some of the smaller issues. I had two relatively small issues with the book. There were a couple, like, other things, but I don't really feel like they don't need to be mentioned as far as I remember. One thing that made me super uncomfortable was the author does that thing that people tend to do, where you have a villain, and because they are villain, because they're a bad guy, they think that means it's okay to be fat phobic, and that means is now okay to use their weight and describe their weight as something grotesque and something you should be absolutely disgusted by, and that becomes a negative and an unattractive trait, but it's okay because they're a villain. And that's that is not how that works. That's not how it impacts people. And it comes off very gross. Luckily, that character dies very, very early on, so it's not something that you have to deal with throughout most of the book, but it is, like, very it is very uncomfortable to look at it, to have someone say the way that they describe this character feels very, like, it's one of those things of, like, yes, they're the bad guy, but when you're taking these shots at their looks in this way, especially when it's, like, a matter of, because it's one thing, because I know there's, like, the one thing of, like, oh my god, this guy is all openly about, just constantly talking about how women need to look like this. Dude, you don't put in that effort. You don't look like this. That's one thing. It's, like, this guy, I don't think he mentions looks as a character. I don't think he mentions looks once in the book. And but they're constantly talking about his weight, constantly talking about about how his weight upsets and disgusts and stuff everyone around him and stuff like that. And if that's how you describe weight, and if that's how you describe someone fat and stuff like that, then that is what a reader, like, what if your reader looks like them, you know? When fat becomes one of the villainous traits, that's not okay. That's not, it's so unpleasant to read it, to like watch these shots being taken at this character for that no reason other than that. And so that is something like that, some fat phobia in the book I would warn against and be on the lookout for. The other thing is, there's this one moment where the characters are talking about gender and sex, and frankly, they're wrong about what they say. I'll read the clip. It is, male, female, those are sexual distinctions of animals. Shall I discuss sexual classification? There are more than just male and female now, for people, I mean. And it feels well-meaning, but it's still wrong, you know? It feels like someone, like, wants to be not open-minded, but someone who wants to be considered supportive. Someone who wants to be supportive, but they just don't actually have the facts right. Because it's one of the, like, there have been trans and there have been intersex people across all of history. That is, they have been around just as long as male and female. And it is also it feels like now you're saying a trans man and a trans woman are also not the same as a man and a woman, and that's all, like, it's well-meaning. The sentence is well-meaning, but it doesn't hit the mark. It doesn't hit the mark, and so that was like a weird one. That was a weird one for me. The like major 1-star book almost got a 1-star issue. So there's a romance in this book, and where did I put it? So when we find out the dude she's supposed to kill is actually this lawyer guy. And hold on, where I put a whole fucking rant where I talk shit about this dude. Like, there it is. Okay. So there's this lawyer dude she was originally supposed to kill because he was going to be prosecuting against Atta's character. He was supposed to be persecuting Atta, and the dude who was about to join the tribe, which we now know is Paul, he wanted Atta to stay out of prison, and if we kill the lawyer, then that means the case is gone, which is already some faulty logic, but whatever. She sees this dude, and she is just so smitten. She like hesitates to kill him. But then she sees Atta, and so now she kills Atta, and like, whatever. Then later on, the first time she sees Paul, she immediately is like, I'm that girl that you sold, and I will kill you. And then she proceeds to start killing off his men after he's like, I'm like, we are currently at a dinner with your family. I have immediate access to your family. You do anything to upset me, I will kill your family. So she immediately kills one of his henchmen, and because she revealed who she was, he knows exactly who did it, and so he poisons her dad. And then she physically says, these are words that come out of the character's mouth, and she says, I want to, like, where's the actual fucking quote? Where's the actual fucking quote, actually? She cleared her mind of other worries, and conversation flowed easily. Like, bitch, you are in the middle of something you started. I'm sorry. Everything with regard to this fucking romance pissed me off because it was so ridiculous. It was so unreasonable. You could not convince me that this is a real human being. You could not convince me this isn't her fucking fault. Like she's literally leaving her father just got poisoned. Paul admitted he poisoned her father. She leaves her poisoned father, refuses to tell anyone in her family that they're in danger. I want to go on a date. My life is so stressful right now. I just want to forget about everything and go on a date. You started it. They are actively in danger. This is your fault. And can I just say, the dude isn't even worth it. The dude, I guess he's attractive, but he is the blandest character. Where's the rant? I also had a rant. Oh my god. I literally said, white bread is less bland than this character, so do not tell me that this walking stick of a fucking human is why this woman suddenly gives zero fucks about the family that saved her life. Like, you can't tell me. He doesn't do anything. I think the most interesting thing about him is that he sucks at grilling. That's the only thing we know about him. That, and he has a daughter. That's it. And frankly, the daughter should have been the focus. The daughter should have been the focus the whole time. The relationship should have been, she sees herself in this daughter sees a mother figure in her, and now she's bonding with the daughter, and from her bond with the daughter spreads a romance with the dad, but the daughter and taking care of the daughter is the focus. I can see that connection. But this dude he just exists. He just exists, and if you replace him with a fucking sponge, if you replace him with the dog would have added more to the fucking plot. The dog would have made more sense. This dude just stands there, and suddenly she's willing to let her whole ass family die. Like, literally, right before they go on the date, they meet up for this date, and he's like, oh, I found this cigar in my daughter's room. She told me that it fell out of your bag, and she smells it, and it's Paul's cigar. And it's Paul's cigar, the dude who is killing her family. So this dude has not only attacked her father and poisoned her father, this dude has also actively broken into the house of this new family she wants to, like, create and be a part of, and threatened the life of them. And she's like, fuck this. I need a break, okay? I want to relax. I want to let my worries just float away. And so I'm going to go on this date and just be at ease. It's like, they also try and do this whole thing of, like, anything that Paul does is Paul's fault. It's not your fault. No, it's your fault. Like, there is saying, hey, the shark is the one that killed your dad. And then there is you being so stressed that there is a shark approaching your dad that you want to go get a martini instead of throwing him a life raft. Telling anyone, including him, that there is a shark approaching. You would go to jail for your willful negligence and ignorance. And I can't with this. Like, I genuinely read that line and I was like, oh, this book is a fucking 1 star. I cannot with this fucking woman. How It would not. I could not handle it. I couldn't do it. I could not. I was so upset. This is so bad. This is so... It's like again, it would be one thing if it was a moment of... She just bonded so much with... She bonded so much with her, like, the daughter, and the daughter reminds her so much of her, and, like, that I would have believed that sooner. I would have believed that she left the hospital in a rush to go protect this girl who ended up, like, getting bullied and had racial slurs thrown at her. I would have believed that. But to tell me that this bitch literally left every single one of her family members in danger so she could go dancing. I'm sorry, like, I genuinely, that is why that is my caveat for this book being 5 stars. The only way this book can be 5 stars is if you, after Atta dies, stop reading, because the book is separated into before and after. So the book is separated into, like, before she, like, became Nina and after she became Nina. Before she was adopted, like, before, not even she was adopted, but before she became her adult self, and before, and then after she became her adult self. And it's labeled before and after. Stop reading the after sections right after Atta dies, and then start reading them again, chapter 73, when we get into the conclusion of this book. That's the only way. That's the only way. It was, I can't, that was the most despicable I hated this character for it. I hated this character. It was so bad. And again, like, she didn't even really bond with this dude, so why is she risking so many people's lives over this dude when they didn't really have much of an on-screen relationship anyway? Like, they barely even talked, and I was just so mad. That was the worst choice of this book. That was easily the worst decision this author made. But, to close out, I want to read some really good lines that I loved in this book. Let's see. When describing how the woman that adopted her, I forgot both of their names. I think Noble is her dad's name, but I forgot her mother's name. These are the parents that adopted her. I think after she had, like, a really bad day or something, or, like, a very, like, either a bad day or it was right after she told them, like, what happened to her family or something really bad happened. And it also might have been coming home from the gynecologist, finding out she would not be able to have children after being raped. It is the line, her mom decides to try and make some traditional African meals. And it says, Mom's is the worst peanut butter soup. Pudding is a better description. Fufu, white, gritty, and as hard as stone. And kelewele, a mushy, salty mess made from plantains not ripe enough. I have ever had the pleasure of eating. I eat every bit of what she puts in front of me, and then I ask for seconds, ignoring the looks of utter repulsion from Ellen and Dad. And I thought that was really cute of, like, she recognizes the gesture of making the food, whether or not the food is good. I thought that was cute. Oh, that's so good. And with the snap of fingers, Nina was 14 again, taken back to her burning village, to the moment Papa lost his head, to the sweltering hot box, to the murderous robot. She swallowed hard, willing herself to remain calm, to not let him know how deeply he'd wounded her. Tiny hairline cracks snaked through her usually placid demeanor. Paul was the only person who could make her feel all the fear and the insecurity she'd felt as a young girl. He was the only person she truly feared because she knew the depths he would go to take her from her again. That was one of the quotes that was like, I completely feel that. And let me show you some funny lines. Let me show you some funny lines. When talking about the lawyer romance dude, talking about his only character trait, Georgia, his daughter. Georgia pulled out her cell phone with a sly smile. What do you like on your pizza? In the patio seat next to her, Nina gave her a quizzical look. What about your dad grilling dinner? Unfortunately, he still continues to try. Georgia looked at the grill wistfully. That was funny. I thought that was funny. What else? Totally a line I would and probably have used. But I don't like anyone else, I answered, doing my last round of burpees. I barely like you as it is. Now that's a goddamn lie. Wit smirks, handing me a rope for me to jump. Dear girl, you'll pay for that comment. It's, like, that's funny. I think that's funny. A really cute one. Here's a... yeah. Let me find one more line. And that'll probably be it for us today. Nina, again, a assassin. Her daughter, not her daughter, but the dude's daughter, Georgia, knows. And has actually, Nina saved the girl's life at the beginning of the book, killed 2 dudes. And she's trying to talk to Nina and Georgia, talking about some of Georgia's bullies. And Nina's like, I can kill them for you. No one will ever know. Georgia's eyes saucered, her mouth dropping open with brush still in hand. Then she burst out in laughter at Nina's obvious joke. Like, that's fucking funny. To have a legit assassin just being like, I mean, I can kill him. No one will know. It'll take about 2 seconds. Like, that's funny to me. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Un mas quote. Nina talking to her adopted sister, and she tells her sister, I mean, don't you want to settle down, find a guy to live with and to have what mom and dad have? And her sister's like, that position's already taken, little sis, by you. I don't need a man for what mom and dad have because you are my other half. Like, that's so cute. Also, another funny line, when talking about how this dude is approaching and trying to talking to her, it was like a National Geographic episode, the mating rituals of a single father. Like, those are funny. Also, a thing I need, PSA, I need to discuss this. I hate when a book goes from someone's given name to a nickname in the narration. You can pick one and stick with it. I cannot... If you're using if you're using the given name for only a short period of time, there's such an easy way to just connect the two, versus having the narrator change halfway. I hate it. That is easily one of my least favorite things ever in a book. It's easy, it's in Legend Board. I hate it. Something about it just bothers me so much. It takes me so far out of the story. I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, that's my review of this book. Her Name Was Night. Again, I'm not joking. I'm genuinely not joking when I say after Atta dies, stop reading the after sections. and skip to chapter 7, not skip to chapter 73, but when you get there, start reading the after sections again when you get to chapter 73. I can't be more serious about this recommendation. But other than that, it was a very good book. Currently am reading Legendborn, like I said. Hopefully I'll get to finish it. I should be fine. I should probably get to finish it. Again, I'm having a bit of a dreary reading situation right now. So wish me luck on this journey. But yeah, so that's all I've got for you guys right now. And I can do an update stream soon, especially since the pre-orders and the pre-release premiere for Island Affairs has started. I should do a update stream with you guys soon, but until then, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Valedictions friends.